LoreWarrior Online, SR1-0 Strider. Overview. As one of the first Innisphere Omnimechs to hit the field, the SR1-0 Strider was considered by many critics to be something of a disappointment, primarily due to Luthien Armorworks' decision to base the new Omnimech on the chassis of the venerable Cicada. Noting the SR1's sacrifice of mobility for armour and firepower, Cicada proponents often pointed out that, while the Strider might be deadlier and harder to kill on the field, the loss of speed meant that the mech couldn't escape without serious support if outmatched. Despite this shortcoming, the DCMS rushed several runs of the new Omnimech to the front lines, and sold many to its Federated Commonwealth allies. Capabilities. Although capable of sporting other weapon loads, every major Strider configuration employed since the mech's 3057 introduction has sported a mix of arm-mounted missile pods, typically backed by lasers and electronics, such as Beagle probes, TAG or C3 systems. Even the dedicated electronic warfare configuration, the OA, uses its arm pods for NARC launchers, while torso space is devoted to electronics and a small laser. The advent of larger streak systems made possible even more configurations, which have further reinforced the image in many commanders' minds of the Strider as a light missile support unit, while also increasing its effectiveness in combat. Indeed, by far the most potent version to emerge has been the F configuration, which combines the accuracy of twin Streak 4s with two medium lasers and jump jets. Many DCMS warriors jokingly refer to this Strider configuration as the Grand Jenner, noting its relative similarities both in appearance and capability to the old Kirita standby. Deployment. The DCMS still fields most of the Striders produced to date, many of which serve as light lance command vehicles or recon units to heavier formations. Despite their critics, these Omnimechs have become almost commonplace among the more elite Kiritan commands today. Several Strider runs were sold to the Fedcom powers in the final months of their union, and continued to trickle into both states for a few years afterward. Notable mech warriors: Chewie Megan Fontaine. A decorated lance commander in the 3rd Deerin Regulars 2nd Battalion, Fontaine and her Strider Darkblade have been missing on Altair since a Blakist offensive there shattered the DCMS command in June 3068. Since then, a Strider matching Darkblade's F configuration loadout and painted blood red from the waist down has appeared sporadically to harass Blakist garrison forces on planet, often emerging from the many nuclear-devastated ruins where lingering radiation from the initial attacks prevents most forces from doing a thorough sweep or getting accurate sensor readings. The mysterious mech has accounted for the deaths of almost 24 Blakist mech warriors and armoured infantry troops. The Strider, mass 40 tons, chassis the Alshane Type KR240 Endo Steel, powerplant GM240, cruise of 65, max of 97 with no jump jets. Armour is the Star Slab /4 with case. Armament 12 tons of pod space. Manufacturer is Luthien Armorworks, primary factory on Luthien. Communication system is the Cypher Comcon SCU-9. Targeting and tracking is the Matabushi Stalker. It's a mech by default that has a walk of 6, a run of 9. There is a jump-capable variant, of course. It has 9 armour on the head, 15 on the CT with 6 on the rear, 14 on the right and left torsos, 5 on the rear, and 12 on the arms, and 14 on the legs. It's a interesting little build. I actually don't mind this mech. I quite like the Strider. It looks cool. It fits quite a few niches for me. I like it. Yeah, it's a cool little mech. Primary weapons: SRM6 on the right arm, SRM6 on the left arm, with Artemis fire control in both, with a single small laser in the head and the Beagle probe. So a good little punchy mech there, 40 tons. It gets in close, does a lot of damage quite quickly, especially with that Artemis fire control helping with you to hit rolls. Then you've got the Alpha configuration, which, as it mentioned, has a NARC launcher in the right arm with 6 rounds of fire, has a C3 slave system, it's got another NARC missile beacon with another 6 rounds of fire, a tag laser in the left torso, a single small laser in the head, and a Beagle probe in the CT. Now, what I really like about that is that is a pure support mech, something that you won't see in any of the computer games, mainly because, obviously, the computer games are more about more real-time combat, and obviously a mech that has a single small laser and support equipment, not even weaponry, is not viable, obviously. In a game that was larger scale, say we had like planet-side type maps with planet-side type player numbers, the alpha configuration I imagine would be incredible. Having one or two of these things running around in an area, narking targets and quickly getting the fuck out, or just sitting there with a tag laser on a hillside, marking targets for artillery units to fire down, absolutely perfect. Obviously, that's how it works on the tabletop. You have it mixed in with a larger formation, one of these things running around, each turn, rolling, firing an art beacon at this target, firing an art beacon at that target, it's tagging, that kind of thing, because tag lasers work differently on the tabletop. You roll, if you hit with the tag laser, you give a bonus to the team. The Beagle Probe combined as well. Things are nightmare. It can really make other players' days miserable. Of course, it makes it a primary target as well. In a turn-based setting, you can kill that thing. First chance you get, heavy firepower goes on that, because it'll severely decrease the chance that your mechs get hit by return fire from the enemy. But it's great. I love that, and it's something that I kind of missed with the previous one. I was talking about the Owens. I love the fact that the Owens is also, its primary role isn't up close fighter. It's this combined with the Strider. The Strider combined with the Owens. Either works. The support units on the field, they're not battle mechs that are meant to get the kills. It reminds me a lot of the Hussar. It's not a mech that's meant to run around and get kills. It has a single weapon system. It's a long-range weapon system, but it's the only one it's got because it's meant to scout, and that weapon is just meant to keep enemies away, fend them off, and then it gets out there, and that's what's cool. I love that part of the universe, and sadly it so rarely gets implemented or used. I could see if they ever bothered with it in the future, if a competent company were to make a campaign-based BattleTech game and you had a mission where you were running a mech like this, where combat was not the focus. You had to navigate the map. You had to get to a location to, launch the beacons. So, artillery could rain down and destroy it. And so you were trying to, stealthily move around as well as you can, avoiding detection as long as you can to mark these targets. And then if you get spotted, you have to get the fuck out, kind of thing. Cool idea. Be a really fun, challenging mission, and would highlight a whole other side of the BattleTech universe and the use of certain mechs. Anyway, moving on. The B configuration, it fits fire support. It's 2 LRM-10s with 12 rounds of fire in each launcher, which is pretty good. The C configuration, pair of LRM-5s with 24 rounds each, plenty of ammo to keep that thing going, and a large laser in the CT. Currently, that's my favourite build of it. I really like that. Harassment fire, large laser does pretty good, decent armor damage, 8 points. Coupled with its ability to, it's not slowest spec on the board, 6 and 9. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Not like that. D configuration, a pair of Streak 2s, one in each arm, with split single ton of ammo, but 50 shot, 25 per launcher is more than enough. A pair of medium pulse lasers, one in each arm, with tag, C3 slave, small laser in the head, Beagle Probe. Nice, straightforward, good anti-armor, good anti-infantry mech. E configuration is a pair of Streak 6s. Now, interestingly enough, this must be a change, because I don't think the E variant is actually mentioned in the write-up. No, it's not. So there's actually 2 that utilize updated Streak systems. This is a pair of Streak 6s, one in each arm, with 15 rounds of fire in each, and a single medium laser. That's deadly. That's brutal. I mean, that can ruin a light mech. A pair of Streak 6s, because 12 missiles hitting you, 2 damage each. That's quite nasty. And the medium laser is just the added, salt in the wound. And then the final one, the F configuration, which it does mention in the write-up, is the pair of Streak 4s, pair of medium lasers, 25 rounds split between the 2. That's not great, but it's okay. But it has the jump jets. It has is it just the one? No, it's got two jump jets split in the right and left torso. It's not a great amount of jump capability, but as it says, as a kind of joke, it's like a slightly heavier Jenner. So that's cool though. Yeah, I like the Strider, and yeah, that's a fun little mech. That's quite cool little Omni mech. I don't have any recollection if it was ever in the games. It probably was. I have a vague recollection that it might have appeared in one of the older MechWarrior games. Again, some of these, I see that I'd love to see these things in MWO. Hey, you know what? You could put these fuckers in MWO, because let's face it, every mech was an Omni-mech in MWO, because you could swap out everything, engine and armor and weapons and all that stuff. So you've basically added Omnitech. It's already there. Just put these mechs in. And you could build all the configurations. Just by giving them the correct hard points. Oh, this is the Strider OA and OB, OC, OD, you know, just do it that way. It'd be fine. I don't think it would make much difference. Anyway, I've, rambled on with this one long enough. Anyway, I'll let you go. Have a good one. See you all next time. Bye-bye. Bye.